Hi, gang. Happy Tuesday. I'm sorry, I'm chasing a fly with my eyeballs through my studio. It's a day to have the windows open, and it's a day to have laundry drying outside. This should be the type of summer day we have every day, which has not been the case. We've had hot and humid, and we've had rainy and humid, and we've had humid and humid. But today, finally, a nice one. So hi everybody, I'm glad you're here. It's Tuesday in my studio. I was away last week visiting with my mom while my sister was out of town, and I'm back home. Now, this week, I'm leaving town again, but I'm going on a quilt retreat with a friend. So I'm very excited and really looking forward to getting some friend time and some valuable quilting inspiration time, because you never know how much you need a quilt retreat until you go on one. Is that right? I'm glad you're here visiting with me this week. And I don't have a lot to share because I was away and not doing a lot of quilting. I was doing some designing, but it wasn't to get you a new quilt pattern out wasn't going as well as I wanted it to. So I'm back at the drawing board on that one, but we will have more color blocks patterns coming out shortly. Um, so say hi if you're here so I know that the chat is working. Let me go to the chat. Hi from hot and muggy Kissimmee, Florida. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Um, will it console you any to know we get blizzards? Will that help at all? At all? Because I know we get hot and muggy. We just don't get as much as you do. As hot, as muggy, as long. But we do get hot and muggy. Very hot, very muggy, just not as many days of it. We had a weird thing happen up here. I live in New York, right next to the Connecticut border, and right on the other side of the border, Connecticut got devastated by rains on Sunday. So we had some rain, but it was mild. I mean, just a thunderstorm. And then later on that night, I got online and I saw that Connecticut got wrecked. Western Connecticut got wrecked with 10 to 16 inches of rain and floods and roads washed away and cars swept away and houses damaged. It was not good. And I just feel really bad. Yesterday we had more rain and I'm like, oh, Lord, literally, Lord, we don't need more rain. I mean, we'll take it, but they don't need more rain over there. People who are living in the midst of a flood, looking at the sky and seeing rain coming, just devastating. I have lost my house, not to a flood, but to a tree falling on it. It's a terrible, terrible feeling. And I haven't lost my possessions. I lost my house, like the walls and the roof and stuff, but I didn't lose any of my possessions. Sometimes I think I might like to have fewer possessions, but it was pretty benign. It was a stressful year, but it was pretty benign. So definitely keep the folks in Western Connecticut and others in severe weather in your prayers. Let's see. Joan, hello. It's good to see you. Like I said, I'm at my home studio. I have a little bit of work to get done, and then I am leaving for a quilt retreat. I'll be putting out a post later on because I want to make a blouse. I bought those blouse patterns I was talking about last week, just a woven shirt pattern. And I have 5 different fabrics currently sitting on my ironing board and many more that it could be. So I want to take one of them with me to do, but I don't know which one. So I might have to put out which should be my first t-shirt. Hi, Janet. It's good to see you. I'm so sorry once again, that Hurricane Debby came through. I got to deal with her too. But hopefully you're all dried out and enjoying a hot and blistering summer once again. So if you were making a cotton woven t-shirt, would you use a heavy print, like, a big K-facet type of print? Would you use a really delicate print, or would you use a solid? Because I have some of each out there, and I just don't know which one I want to make first. Janet, I'm glad you're good. It's good. I'm glad to hear you're good. I have so many fabrics that'd be a perfect shirt, but I really don't need that many shirts because I am back to work. So I only need maybe 3 or 4 shirts to get me through my non-working life. And I have 2 already. I have a third, but I don't like it very much. So anyway, I'm just putting together a transitional wardrobe from really hot and disgusting to the 2 weeks where we like weather before it goes into, oh my word, it's too cold. Because yeah, that's kind of the way it goes here. We go from summer to winter with about a minute and a half of a really nice fall. So what are your best retreat tips? Like, what should I pack? I have 2 projects out already. One was a UFO that got smushed away, and another was a kit that I pulled out. And I'm going to take the t-shirt. So that's 3 projects. Technically, that should be enough for 4 days. But we all know I'm going to need more than that. And I'm trying to decide if I should take my featherweight or my tried and true travel machine. So if anyone has opinions on that or of any things to bring, please let me know because I'm packing from scratch. Let's see, we're taking all of our own food. My friend is allergic to everything that isn't air. So we're bringing all of our own food, which is fine. Make sure you're well rested before you go. Sleep up because we won't sleep when we're there. Good plan. This is going to be in the Berkshires, so that'll be fun. And we have a full kitchen, so that'll be good. And we don't need, again, we're bringing food, so that's not a big deal. We have that pretty managed. I was thinking an extension cord and a light. And I need to make sure I have a couple rotary cutters and mats, rulers, good pair of scissors, supply of thread and bobbins, extra needles for the sewing machine. Yeah, I'm not sure what else, but we're going to have a good time. And hopefully I'll be showing you things I'm making. And next week, maybe you'll see me wearing my new top that I made. So that's my goal. And the kit I have sitting on the chair right there is going to be my new bedspread. And it is an old kit made by a quilt designed by John Kubiniak. And it is an Amish patchwork quilt. So the kit is over there and I can't wait to get started on it. I've had that set aside for a long time and it finally aged enough. I was just starting to go through some boxes I've had stacked up behind the door next to me. And I found things I didn't know that were there. Like I was like, I remember that UFO and I was thinking about finishing it, but I had no idea where it was. So it's good to find that. I found several other things I had no concept of where they were. And then that kit was in there. Most of my kits are stored under my long arm in big ottomans, like fabric ottomans for, to protect them from sun damage because my long arm is in front of 2 windows. And I thought I was going to have to dig in there and I still might dig in there. So what do you think? Another new kit or another UFO? Trying to decide. I will have my computer with me to hopefully get some good creative time and figure out what's wrong with the quilt pattern that I'm designing for y'all. It's just not working yet. Sometimes they work and sometimes you learn. Janet, did I ever find my rotary cutting blades yet? No. And November will be 8 years since I lost them. 8 years. They're somewhere here, and I don't know where. It could be in one of those buckets. I have no way of knowing. They're somewhere. And these are the large, like the 60 millimeter rotary blades, not the 45s. I've purchased new since then, thinking that would make them show up. But alas, no, they're still somewhere in here. And how do I know it was 8 years? Not politics, but I happen to have lost them the night before the 2016 presidential election. I voted, I lost my rotary cutter blades. And in November, it'll be time to vote again. And I still don't have my rotary cutter blades. What do you think? 10 years would be the time to, really just say they disappeared. The gremlins took them, the littles, the hobbits, whatever lives in my house, they're gone. 8 years. Yeah. So they'll show up eventually, maybe. Oh, a fun thing that happened getting that t-shirt pattern. I've printed it out. I'm getting ready to cut it out in my size and do all the taping together and all of that. And then someone at church asked me if I would help their teenage daughter learn how to sew for real, because she doesn't know how to use a pattern. So I'm going to make one, and then we're going to make another one together. So that's fun. I get to teach someone who wants to know how to sew, and her mother's like, not my bag. So I'm going to have some fun teaching. I don't know how old she is, 12 to 15, somewhere in there, how to make a t-shirt and how to read a pattern, and we'll do it together. So I'm making one as a test, and then I'll get to make another one, which is always fun. I think the other thing I have to do for a homeschool group in the area, or the other thing I get to do, is they want to do a no-sew service project. And they were thinking of dog toys or no-sew blankets. So I have to look more into it. But for dog toys, I was thinking of taking some fabric and braiding, rolling the edges inside and braiding it, making a braided knot on each end dog toy. Does anybody have ideas about that? If you do, shoot them at me, because I could use them. But yeah, it's really funny when you're the person in the area where people know how to sew, because I'm always can you help me with, or how would I do this, or what's wrong with that, or what about my sewing machine and it's not working? But it's kind of nice to be needed. So other than that, last week I taught home sewing, sewing on a home sewing machine at a quilting shop outside of Pittsburgh, which is pretty much, the shop is between my mother and my mother-in-law's houses. So while I was in Pittsburgh, I got to teach there, and it was so much fun. I had 25 students in the morning, 20 students in the afternoon, and we machine quilted all day. And I love seeing students going from, I'm terrible at this isn't going to work, to the, oh my word, this was so much fun, I can totally do it. So it's such a gift for me to be able to teach. It's a great day, and I love everything about it. My old sewing machine that I just replaced, I thought I could get it to work as my travel machine. Not so much. So it died, like for good and real. So it's gone now. And I'm thinking about either buying a second one of my current at-home sewing machine, or trying to find something else, because I don't want to have to keep taking my good sewing machine out of the house, but I'll figure it out. Anyway, that's the little that I have going on here. Just enjoying not dying from humidity is really nice. I can, at church on Sunday, everyone's like, oh my word, your hair is so pretty. I'm like, this is what it looks like when it's not all frizzy. This is frizzy because I slept on it. But this is what it looks like when it's not all frizzy from the humidity. So people are like, oh my word, your hair. I'm like, yeah, humidity. It's gone for now. It'll be back. So I will continue packing. I will continue working on your next color blocks pattern. And I will be back again next Tuesday at 2:30 New York time. Let me double check that. Hold on, my computer's being goofy. Yes, I will be back then. And hopefully I'll be able to show you the things that I made on the trip, the things that I bought on the trip, because there might be 2 quilt shops in the area, and we would never think about going quilt shopping while we're on a quilt retreat. That would never happen. So I'll see you again next week. Happy quilting, stay in touch, and I hope you find